The American Embassy back in Jerusalem.
The American Embassy back in Jerusalem.
Go, Big Red. Go, Big Red. Let's hear it. Go,
Come on,
Big
Blue
Red.
Team. Come on, man.
Go, Big Red. Let's
Let's look
hear it.
alive out there, Blue Team. Let's play some defense now. Come on, D up. I don't care what you think about me. I'll be just fine. I don't care if your eyes ever see or you stay flying. I'm trying to be the light beneath the light, and I'm gonna try. Here we go. Now, I got something on my mind and it's been bothering me for some time. So now I'm gonna hear the deaf and see the blind, and hope I find the lesson to the message in my rhyme. What you think about me, I'll be. You see, if I speak honestly or emphatically, and I say one little thing that's negative about the president, then automatically I gotta be a resident of the other side. Why? That's absurd. The left wing and right wing are on the same bird. Huh. Red team, blue team, we need a fucking new team. Donald J. Trump's part of the same old routine. Behavior. Trump is not Q. Q is not a savior. What the fuck's he gave you? Some clues? Kept you confused? Q is just a part of the illusion, the confusion, not the solution. If Q knows the truth, then why's he gotta hide it in a clue? So you stay undecided and more divided. I don't buy it. You know what I trust? I trust the pandemic. I don't care what you think about me, I'll be just fine. I don't care if your eyes ever see or you stay blind. I'm trying to be the light beneath the light, and I'm gonna try. Helter skelter, shelter in place. Social distancing is not enough space for these noble moguls to piss in our face. It's a disgrace. Nobody fights back, nobody bites back, and once they're gone, no, we ain't getting our rights back. Why is that? Cause we acted like a bunch of soft bitches. Call up the cops if your neighbor got a cough, stitches, wind up in ditches. I hope I get to smell these Hollywood witches when they burning in hell. But right now I can tell we still under the spell. We fell. If you don't take pause and recognize your cause, they coming for your balls. Red flag laws, government teeth and claws. I don't want my taxes paying for no fucking vaxes that they fast track. Cue up the laugh track, grab you up a knapsack and some provisions, because we got some decisions to make about our future, of our nation, and what we're facing. Contact tracing, legal interrogation, one PlayStation under God, indivisible with liberty and justice for none. Have they won? No, not yet, but they're close to completing the lobotomy. With precision into scalpels of division, they make the incision the false dichotomy. And it's gotten me feeling animosity toward the aristocracy. I want the blood of the royal elite to flood the street and irrigate the field. How dare you motherfucking pigs bang on your shields? Nobody died when Kaepernick kneeled. I don't care what you think about me, I'll be just fine. I don't care if your eyes ever see or you stay blind. I'm trying to be the light beneath the light, and I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try. Democracy, and I'm gonna try. Turn into a technocracy. Before our very eyes, and I'm gonna try. Government only exists, gonna try.
Oops. I was looking at the wrong screen. So you guys are going to be standing at a blank screen there for a little bit. I do apologize. Oh, we're starting it off right tonight. We already have a thumbs down. Welcome, troll. Welcome to the chat if you're still here. Probably just came in to dislike the video and then bounce, but I do appreciate you hitting that bell so that you know when I go live so that you can come in and hit that thumbs down. That is well appreciated, sir. Well appreciated. Thank you very much. How are y'all doing this evening? We got a little bit of fun news, and I was going to title it something different because I kind of want to talk and have a conversation about what we kind of touched on last night with taking this country back. Broken Patriot, how you doing? Had mentioned how do we take our country back, and I would like to touch on that a little bit this evening, but we also have some great Bubba Wallace memes going around and some great news well, not great news, but funny news to get to. Gerald B, hello, how you doing? Yeah, not even started and already had a dislike. You didn't do it? Oh, well, that's weird. Now, okay, so my chats are a little bit. I have two chats open. One on OBS and then of course one on YouTube, and I can see them both. And it's funny because the one on OBS came on later. Oh, thank you. I really wish I knew what to call you. Dot. I guess dot, right? Dash. Okay.
Double D's.
Once again, that the description or in the descriptions below is the link to that guy's video. That is not my video. He's not a big artist, so I'm not getting copyright claimed, but I kind of feel bad. But if you like the song, that's great. Riddle Girl was kind of worried that maybe people didn't like the song because I had like 8 people come in while that song was playing, and then like almost all of them but 2 left, right? And then slowly coming back here and there. So I am curious. No, I was the 3rd like. Okay. I couldn't see the like. Well, no, I did have a thing on how many likes, but I didn't see the dislike. The only reason I knew of the dislike was because of Gerald. So, question before we get started. Do you like the song or should I change it? I mean, I do want to have a wait time, a countdown clock, because it gets a chance for everybody to get in, get their notifications and stuff like that. What should we call you? Dash, double, dash, tic-tac? All right. So, taking our country back. It is accurate. I agree. Taking our country back. How do you do it? Well, there's a couple ways, right? And then the question though would be what version of the United States do you want back? Do you want it right after the Revolutionary War? Do you want it right after the Civil War when slavery was over? Do you want it before the New Deal? Do you want it before the Patriot Act? What version of America do you want to go back to? That's a big question right there, right? Mix it up a bit. All right, I'll try to find some non-copyrighted music maybe and mix it. I don't know. I got to find other artists that I actually agree with. I mean, one of the songs that I like is "Fuck You, I Won't Do What You Tell Me." Right, from Rage Against the Machine, but that's going to get copyrighted real freaking quick, I guarantee it. So what version of America are you wanting to take back? That you have to ask yourself that, right? And then how do you go about it? Right? If you want your country back the way it was last year, in 2019, before all this craziness, before the election year, then you can probably vote that. You can probably vote for people, possibly, right? If you want to go all the way back to after the Revolutionary War, and I know quite a people who do, I go back to when my heart was taken. Not about your situation. What kind of country do you want to get back, right? Personally, I would love to see what this country was like after the Revolutionary War, before the whiskey tax went into place, actually, which wasn't very long, right? But back when you were a real free man, you were a free person, except for the slaves, which, you know, very arguably one of the worst things about America. But I mean, if you study history at all, you kind of understand why and what happened there. So how do you take it back, though, was the question. There's a couple ways. You can, if you were able to get everybody, and I mean everybody who flies a 3%er flag, everybody who owns a gun and says, from my cold dead hands, if you were able to get every single one of them all together at one time with hardly any notice, I'm talking like less than a day's notice, and you can get them all in one spot, Washington, D.C., whatever, right? And you can't talk about it prior, right? It has to be spontaneous. It has to be within one day, getting everybody in one spot ready to go. You could do it peacefully, right? It would be like a march on the Capitol or whatever, and you would take the people out of office and maybe arrest them, you know, and put them on a legitimate trial. I don't know, however you want to do that. What's up, HDP? So that's my opinion on that, right? If you were able to do that. But the problem is, if it takes any longer than one day, you're going to have infiltrators. You're going to have people being taken out. Believe me, the government has systems in place to maintain continuity of government. They know about the Boogaloo Boys. They know about other groups in history that, you know, they know about the whole Tree of Liberty needs to be watered every once in a while with the blood of tyrants and patriots. They've heard that, and they've planned for it. Guarantee it, right? So to do it peacefully, that's how you'd have to do it. You would have to get everybody together at one spot in one day, and then you might be able to do it peacefully. I don't see that happening, obviously. And I don't really see, the other one that a lot of people talk about is, well, eventually something's going to happen and we're all going to get pissed off enough. We're going to, you know, say no fucking more, and we're going to stand up and take our country back. Now, I hate to say it, but I'm getting more and more disheartened. I was one of those people who thought that for a very long time. But then you start seeing these people that you respect and think that they are going to do that kind of back down, right? Oh, shit got a little too real, right? And no, I'm not talking about Tactical Tony. But, you know, when you go and you start spewing, oh, if the government does this, I'm going to do this, this, and this, and nobody has your back, and then maybe you get a call or visit from the FBI, yeah, you realize that you're just going to be the lone person and nobody's going to give a fuck about you. Okay, so HDP, okay, Chowder Pouch. You need the Kennedy Democrats. So you'd like to go back to that, or I don't know, maybe you got in here a little bit late. Hey, what's up, Doomer? How you doing? Real Girl says, if I look at it from the perspective of how hard life would be, I would not want to live in the 1800s. I would probably choose the 1950s. From a patriotic standpoint, I couldn't choose. You know, patriotic, if you go into patriotic, World War II, right? Very patriotic time in America. Not really great for the Japanese or the African Americans. But they're old now. Kennedy, yeah, the Kennedy, do they even exist? I think they're Republicans now, to be honest, Chowder. Well, we already know what doesn't work and things that do work. Well, I don't know. I don't see us taking it back. I see us being taken out one by one. I know a lot of people who are really concerned that by talking on the internet that you are on a list and that you will be sent to the gulags if things go bad or when things go bad, because I think we're getting set up for an economic collapse. The way that the money's being printed right now, I think very likelihood that the American economy is going to collapse entirely, and we're going to have hyperinflation. Just my opinion. 50 cars and life with modern technology. 50s cars. There you go. Life with modern technology. Okay, so yeah, Broken Patriot wants it back from 2019. I get you. All right, that's cool. All right, so let's get to some of the news. I am actually going to play a Mark Dice clip tonight. I know, shocker, right?
Good old turkey neck.
I really don't like the Trump train, and at the end he's selling a new t-shirt that's like, oh, really cringe. For me anyway. A lot of people will like it, right? I don't really care for Mark Dice. I used to, and I am still subscribed to him, right? I liked him back when he gave Republicans the same crap he gave Democrats. But he got on the Trump train, his channel blew up, he made a lot of money, and then he realized, oh, I like the money, I like all this attention, I'm going to stay on the Trump train, so no matter what Trump does or what Trump says, he has no criticism of him at all. And I don't like that. I see it in the voting booth soon, Gerald. Do you think we can vote our ways out of this? I don't know, man. So corrupt. So corrupt. At least Kennedy Democrats still loved America and they were pro-Second Amendment. There you go. Exactly. That was the last Democrat I know of that I agreed with quite a bit. Not everything, all right? But the whole speech when he got elected, or when he got sworn in, that was amazing. You'd never hear that now. All right, so here we go. It's the sequel. The sequel to Jussie Smollett.
On Sunday, when NASCAR announced that they supposedly found a noose hanging in the garage of Bubba Wallace at the Talladega Superspeedway, the only black race car driver in the entire league, to intimidate him, the first thing that I thought is, this story's fake. While most people online were virtue signaling how terrible this was, to prove that they're not racist, I went on record saying, quote, let me guess, it'll later be found out to be just an extension cord coiled up, hanging on a workbench that was mistaken for a noose due to the hysteria.
Just as striking in some ways in the other direction was the reaction among some conservatives to the Bubba Wallace story. There was, I guess, inevitably, you had people like Dinesh D'Souza and Mark Dice and others who came out immediately and said,
played the clip of
you know,
his
that they
name
think
being mentioned on MSNBC.
that this is all made up. You know, basically questioning the legitimacy of the story, claiming somehow that this is a Jussie Smollett thing.
Well, it was not an extension cord, as I had suspected. What actually happened is even more hilarious. But before I get to that, word of the noose made Bubba a hero.
Put that in the hashtags
and before the
evening.
big race, his competitors
Look
threw
at
him a
this.
parade.
Look
and
at
in
that.
fact, all pushed his car down the track to show their support for him.
Wow. Okay, so this boy, first of all, is not fully black, right, Riddle?
That's correct.
He is 50-50 at best. His daddy is white. His daddy is rich. And wasn't he connected with NASCAR already beforehand?
So he owns this commercial cleaning company. It's very, very wealthy commercial cleaning company. And he sponsored him with his great white privilege to get into NASCAR.
Yeah.
This hour, a major show of solidarity for Bubba Wallace, NASCAR's only black driver in its top circuit, one day after some awful person left a noose in his garage
Some
stall.
awful person.
Before today's race,
His own
fellow
fucking crew
drivers
last
pushed Wallace's Victory Junction Chevrolet down pit row as others followed in procession. This comes as the Department of Justice announced it is investigating this case.
They did investigate it all right, and 15 FBI agents were put on the case. No, that's not a joke. Literally 15 agents were put on the case. He even got a shout out from LeBron James, calling him his brother, and that he doesn't stand alone. But many people doubted the story from the start, or began to doubt it when no security footage from the garage was made public, despite it housing millions of dollars worth of equipment. And
that only people that are in NASCAR can access. Like, fans can't go in there at all.
having a first-class security system. It just seemed like Jussie Smollett 2.0, so Bubba went on The View and stuck to his story.
So what would you say to those people who are doubting that this even happened or that it's true?
Yeah, just like Steve Phelps said, it offends me that people would go to those measures. But again, I'm not shocked. People are entitled to their own opinion to make them feel good, whatever, help them sleep at night.
Meanwhile, those familiar with commercial garages, particularly the ones at the Talladega Superspeedway where his car was being held, began circulating videos and photos showing that the supposed noose was just the rope that was used as the garage door pole to lift the garage doors. This footage from NASCAR's own YouTube channel shows the actual garage that Bubba Wallace's car was kept in, and you can clearly see that the garage door pulls have a loop knot on the end so that somebody could grab a hold of them and open the doors. Then NASCAR released a statement saying that the FBI had completed their investigation and that they too had found that the supposed noose was just the garage door pull rope and that it's been there for a long time. I'm sure, however, that he's ready to apologize for this terrible misunderstanding due to the mass hysteria on the left. Oh, wait, what's this?
So what are you saying here? Are you saying that you don't believe? Do you believe that it was intended for you in that way? Or are you... What are you saying here?
It was a noose. It was a noose that was whether tied in 2019 or whatever. It was a noose. So it wasn't directed at me, but somebody tied a noose. That's what
last year.
Mm-hmm.
It is a noose.
Yeah. Actually, it was what's called a loop knot. You might have learned that if you actually went to Boy Scouts. The memes that have come out of this fiasco are fantastic.
Now, let me get a couple comments. HDP, right? He remembers when Dice would troll Republican events, calling out the Fed and wanting in foreign intervention. Exactly. I hate it, right? I still watch him once in a while because the dude is funny. I mean, he's about to rip on this pretty good, and it made me laugh, and that's why we're watching it this evening. Real girl, even if we were able to relieve every one of their elected positions at the same time, there would still be some other money-hungry puppet looking to take their place. Continuity of government. Look it up. Look it up, man. You ain't taking it out. Not without everybody all at the same time. I mean, and it's got to be a bum rush kind of situation where I don't know. Even then, I don't know if it's possible. But our country is due for a reset anyway. I mean, now I say this because I got this idea from Guns Coast to Coast, but it's something that has come up before. He had mentioned it recently in a video, and that's why I remember it. But yeah, I mean, if you look through all the major powers throughout the world's history, 200 years, that's about the time. We're a little bit overdue for this country to be not this country anymore and become something entirely different. And what it becomes, who knows? Hopefully something good, but there's no telling. Look who owns the racing group, Dot says. The director is connected to the Clinton Foundation. Are you talking about Bubba Wallace's racing group, or are you talking about NASCAR as a whole? I know Richard Petty has Bubba Wallace on his team, which I used to be a big Richard Petty fan back in the day, but whatever. I haven't watched NASCAR in forever, though. Real Girl says, I think the pandemic is a litmus test to see how compliant the general populace is, and if they can determine we can be controlled with any certainty. And it's only a matter of time. It might be there just checking to see how scared we got, because the more scared you make them, the more people will obey. And going out and about, a lot of people are obeying. Chatterpot, so NASCAR is pandering to liberal media. Yes, they are. The whole, they're not even allowing fans to come in with a Dukes of Hazzard t-shirt anymore because of the Confederate flag. Put them on one-term limits. That'd be nice, but you have to have somebody in Congress to convince all the other peoples in Congress to make that law saying that now they can't stay in Congress. You fail to realize that they all like money and power. That's what these people feed on. They don't care about anything else. They do not care about you at all. And I'm talking Republicans and Democrats. All they care about is money and power. There might be a few out there, the Pauls come to mind, maybe. But you're never going to get them to vote for that because that goes against what they're all about. Bubba's Racing Group. All right. Let's get back to the rest of this.
However, somebody fixed his I can't breathe shirt to say I can't drive. There's another one. I can't identify a garage door pull. There's one with the two guys from Nigeria from the Smollett incident. And this is a Mark Dice original. I probably should have added the swoosh on the bottom to make it clear that it's a parody of the Nike Colin Kaepernick ad with believe in something, whatever the original says. So I fixed it to say believe in something even if it didn't happen. Something that is real, however, is the growing anti-police sentiment that's being fomented by the Democrats and those in the liberal media industrial
new
complex.
shirt.
So to show support for the men and women who risk their lives every day to keep our communities safe, even though their own mayors and governors don't support them, I'm releasing my new Cops Lives Matter shirt. When you get it, it's gonna have a special discount.
I'm actually halfway tempted. Oh, you gonna cricket that one? Get yours today. Maybe I might pick that up and start wearing. No, I won't wear that. I won't do that. All right. So they would alienate half their businesses. You know what? We talk a big game, like, okay, when a company goes against our groups or whatever, we're like, oh, I guess I ain't ever going to go there again. Well, I guess I ain't ever going to Walmart again. You know, a couple years later, well, I have to go to Walmart, right? Because there's no other place, or it's the best place, or I'm in a hurry, or whatever, right? Eventually, you're going to run out of products, too, like Gillette, right? Gillette did that whole anti-male campaign, so everybody switched over to Dollar Shave Club. Well, now Dollar Shave Club is all about Black Lives Matter, right? I mean, they're virtue signaling like crazy right now. So now where do you go? Do you go to Harry's Razors? I haven't checked Harry's Razors and seen what they've said about the whole situation yet. You know, at some point you're going to run out because they're all going to virtue signal. All these companies care about is, well, kind of like the politicians, money and power, right? So if they think it's going to benefit their bottom line, they're going to virtue signal it up. They're not allowing in political gear in NASCAR now, even though Trump led the first lap of the day. Yeah, that was just a little while ago, right? That was just before all this pandemic came out, right? Trump was the first president, or was it? Yeah, I think the first president to ride the limo around, right? The Beast. You think he could do that now? No, I doubt it. That's bad business. It is, but at the same time, you're going to use them, whether you like it or not, eventually. All right, so this is a video from, The Amazing Lucas. If you don't know who The Amazing Lucas is, I would definitely recommend checking him out. The Amazing Lucas. This is about how epic Trump's speech was. This guy is pretty funny too.
When I heard Trump's speech, I was like, what on planet Earth is he talking about? What in God's green earth is Trump talking about? Because Trump was talking about, we need a lesson. Maybe we should lessen our testing. Maybe we should lessen our testing. That's what the man said at his rally. I was like, what? Trump, what are you talking about?
Of thousands of lives, and all.
Where is he? Let's skip forward.
Probably 20 million people more than anybody else. Germany's done.
Right, he was saying we doing 20, all these tests, right? 20 million people more than anyone else.
South Korea's done a lot. They called me. They said the job you're doing. Here's the bad part. When you do testing to that extent, you're going to find more people. You're going to find more cases. So I said to my people, slow the testing down, please.
I was like, what? Trump, what are you talking about? What? Slow the testing down, please. Slow the testing down.
So that's about all I'm going to play of that. There is more to this video. He even talks a little bit about Trump's water drinking, the latest time he took a drink of water, and how he can work a crowd. Thank you, Riddle Girl, for the sound effects. You unsubscribed from Lucas. Why did you unsubscribe from Lucas? He's great, man. You are fake news. Riddle Girl's having a great time over there. If Biden wins, I hope Trump goes on a roasting tour. Yeah. So that's hilarious. So Trump is saying in this speech that we test more people than any other country, and because of that, our numbers are high of cases that have the C virus, right? So therefore, he wants us to do less testing because then we will have less people that are sick. I guess. I think it's hilarious. Oh, there was something else. I forget now. All right, so let's get on to Oregon. Oregon County is now requiring face masks for white people only. Wow. It looks like almost every criminal sketch of any garden variety black suspect. An Oregon County passed a directive last week requiring everyone to wear a face mask in public, except for people of color worried about racial profiling. The Lincoln County Public Health Administrator announced last week that all individuals in the county would be required to wear masks indoor and outdoor public settings. Children and people with health conditions or disabilities are exempt from the rule, and so are people of color who have heightened concerns about racial profiling and harassment due to wearing face coverings in public. You know what this is going to do? Okay, Riddle's having way too much fun. This is going to encourage people to go out in blackface. Just saying. And it is super racist. You're correct, Chowder Pouch. You're really correct. And Aaron Thomas says, I don't feel safe wearing a handkerchief or something else that isn't clearly a protective mask covering on my face to the store because I am a black man living in this world. I want to stay alive. Also, I want to stay alive, but also want to stay alive. Oh, I get it. Because C virus or getting shot. Well, that's free ventilation. First of all, you should have firearms yourself. It's perfectly legal. I don't know about in Oregon, right? But why don't we go and, have our open carry rallies with full face mask? Go Old West style, right? So I thought that was super duper racist and should be brought up tonight. So here's some more of Bubba Wallace. The Noose in Bubba Wallace garage stall was there since 2019. We heard about that a little bit. No hate crime. The garage door pull rope fashioned like a noose had been positioned there since early last fall. The noose found hanging in Bubba Wallace's garage stall at Talladega Super Speedway had been there since last October. Federal authorities said Tuesday in announcing there will be no charges filed in an incident that rocked NASCAR and its only full-time black driver. U.S. Attorney Jay Town and FBI Special Agent Charge Johnny Sharp Jr. Oh my goodness, what the hell is Charge? His name is Charge. Said an investigation determined although the noose is now known to have been in the garage number 4 in 2019, nobody could have known Mr. Wallace would be assigned to the garage number 4 last week. Yeah. Okay, so that wasn't even his garage. He got assigned that. So that was there before that was even his garage. That was just there. So somehow they predicted. They must be soothsayers or something, right? Because they can predict the future to know that this was going to be Bubba Wallace's stall next year. So we're going to put this noose in it now. A crew member for Richard Petty Motorsports discovered the noose Sunday at the Alabama racetrack. NASCAR was alerted and contacted the FBI, which sent the 15 agents to the track to investigate. They determined no federal crime was committed. Yeah, that's crazy. That's absolutely crazy. I think Trump was joking. No, he doubled down. If you want, I can show more of that clip where he then doubles down on what he said originally. In fact, I'll do that here in a minute. Let's see. He's going too far left, backing BLM. No, he's not backing BLM. He's backing no nonsense. I mean, if there are people like George Floyd, right? That guy definitely deserves justice. I disagree with the whole backing BLM. He calls out BLM just as much as he calls out anybody else. Quasar says, evening Stinger, hey, how you doing? And why would they make such a tiny noose? Yeah. I used to make nooses all the time. It was fun. It wasn't racist at the time. But now if I try to make it, well, I know how to make a noose. But if I made a noose now, I'd be considered racist, so I can't. If the noose don't fit, they must have quit. Nice comment there, yeah. So let's go back. We're going to find the double down. Okay.
By having more tests, we find more cases. We did 25 million tests. Think of that, 25 million. If you look at other countries, they did 1 million, 2 million, 3 million, big countries. We did 25 million, way more by double, triple, quadruple any other country. Therefore, we test, we're going to have more cases. By having more cases, it sounds bad. But actually what it is we're finding people. Many of those people aren't sick or very little. You know, they may be young people. But what's happened is because of all of the cases that we find, we have a very low mortality rate. Just about the best in the world. So that
Right, so basically what he's saying, because we're testing more than anyone else. Because remember when they were talking about, yo, what's going on with the testing? Why aren't you testing that much? Why aren't you testing? Yada, yada, yada. He said, yo, we testing, because we're testing so much, we're finding more cases than other places, right? Because they're testing less than us, obviously their numbers are going to be less than ours because their testing is boo-boo. In addition to that, he's like, yo, our mortality rate, even though we're finding more cases, less people are dying from it. That's what he's essentially saying. I was like, okay, all right, that makes a little more sense, right? That makes a little more sense. Now, when it comes to him saying maybe we should test less, I get what he's saying. I get.
So yeah, it's just funny, right? More than anything else, it's kind of funny. But I don't think he was joking. I think he didn't get across the way he wanted to get it across. So Dot says, was that inappropriate? What about this? The noose don't fit? No, man, you're good. Jokes here can be funny. Don't have to go through censors for feelings. I mean, if you're blatantly, using the N-word, I'll probably ban you, but no, that's fine. Quasar says, heard of the BLM, the head of the BLM admitted that she's a trained Marxist. Yeah, I did see that. Thanks for bringing that up. That is something that you all should be aware about. They are definitely trying to rebrand their image, and I think they're doing a really good job of it right now because everybody is all about BLM. But it's crazy. But I do very strongly disagree with you, Broken Patriot, on Lucas being BLM supporter, because he's not. He might agree with some of the things that are going on. He's definitely agreeing with some of the protests, the good protest, right? But he calls out the bad shit too. I haven't disagreed with him yet that I know of. Riddle Girl says it was perfect. And Quasar said, yeah, I read that somewhere. I saw a video on it, I think. Chatter Pouch says it's Mario. HDP, I'm not going to say how stupid this Noose deal is, but it's pretty freaking stupid, yeah. Yes, it is. It is. But it's important, right? I think it's important. It's just as important as what Jussie Smollett tried to do. You have these people with their little soapbox that have a following trying to egg on a race war. For what? Is this guy, what are their motives? Both of them seem like they're those kind of people that need that attention or want to get that attention to me. And I don't know their intentions, to be honest, but it's just, yeah. You're trying to start shit, and it's just bad for the country. Your face think dog? Your face think dog? Okay. What's up, bro? Alright, so here we have the Seattle mayor wants $20 million in police cuts, and there was another shooting, a third shooting in the CHOP. Seattle Mayor Jenny Durkin will propose $20 million in cuts to the police budget in the remainder of 2020, the most of any department, as the city attempts to fill a hole of about $400 million caused by the C virus. Durkin proposes slashing about 5% of the Seattle police budget this year with an officer hiring freeze until a new plan is developed, reflecting the community priorities for public safety, the Seattle Times reported. Many of the protests have dominated Seattle for weeks and demanded a 50% cut to the police department budget as a key goal. That's not the only thing they demanded. They also demanded her resignation. She's not giving in to that one, I don't think. Durkin has asked the department to prepare models of what 20%, 30%, and 50% budget cuts would look like. Also on Tuesday, police were investigating the third shooting incident near a neighborhood protest zone in Seattle that has been occupied since a police station was abandoned after clashes with demonstrators over a week ago. Durkin said Monday the city would move to wind down the protest zone following the shootings that have distracted from changes sought by thousands of peaceful protesters opposing racial inequality and police brutality. My goodness. I don't know. People in NASCAR, Broken Patriot, probably knew of Bubba. I don't know. I don't really watch NASCAR, but I'm sure any African-American NASCAR fan was, knew about him and probably liked him. This means the Popo getting a pay cut. Well, you know what? A lot of them are walking out. So, they don't really have to do much budget cutting because a lot of them are gone. And they're just not going to hire any more new ones. And yet you have instances of store owners being robbed and they had to go and take out justice on this person on their own and then called the cops, and the cops were like, we ain't doing shit. And so they let the kids go or whatever. I don't know. I covered that story a few days back, right? But you got a lot of business owners that are getting looted, that are getting pissed, right? I don't know. I'm not a fan of the police, but you're gonna get what you got coming. You made your bed, you're gonna lie in it, kind of thing here, right? So, and lastly, the last thing I want to touch on is Rhode Island. Rhode Island just, I believe, passed into law or put into a bill. No, it's passed into law, I believe. That 80% lowers and home builds and 3D printed firearms are going to be illegal. And you have until a certain time to get them out of the state. Guns and Gadgets is following that story, so if you're subscribed to him, he should have something on that tomorrow. But this is now that they want to change the state name of Rhode Island, because apparently it must be racist. I'm guessing. I haven't read the story yet, so let's read it together. At a time when nearly anything can be construed as racist or promoting slavery, the governor of Rhode Island is upping the ante. Governor Gina, whatever her name is, the Democratic chief executive of the nation's smallest state, signed an executive order Monday to take the first steps towards changing the state's name. Rhode Island was founded as an original British colony in 1636. Its official name was the Colony of Rhode Island and Providence Plantations. So it was known as something to do with plantations. Plantations isn't a racist term. It's... okay. 3 years after the signing of the U.S. Constitution, it became known as the State of Rhode Island. I already read that part. Sorry about that. Now, 230 years later, the name is offensive because of the word plantations, perceived association with slavery. Plantation has nothing to do with slavery, I don't believe. Correct me if I'm wrong. But I believe that's just a plot of land with, agricultural shit. Whatever the meaning of the term plantations in context of Rhode Island's history, it carries a horrific connotation when considering the tragic and racist history of our nation's state, Senator Harold Metz told Providence Journal. Metz, a Democrat, is the only black member of Rhode Island Senate. The Senate's government has a Democratic trifecta consisting of the single-party control of both House and state legislature and the governor's office. So they have all three. Mets introduced a bill to change the state's name last week, but Romano is taking the first meaningful action. Her order declares the state's official name as Rhode Island. No longer will any prior reference be allowed, or gubernatorial executive orders, citations, or letterheads. So they're going to stop calling it Rhode Island. I want to know what they're going to start calling it, right? The order further dictates all state agencies to strip any mention of the state's full name on the government websites. Oh, they're erasing history. Great. Permanently changing the name, however, will require changing the state's constitution, and that requires a statewide ballot referendum. A previous attempt to strip the plantations term occurred. Okay, so they want to just erase that part of the history, I guess, and keep the Rhode Island part, I believe. Quasar, this means the standards will be lowered even more and the people will see even more tyranny. Yeah, about the cops. Isn't Rhode Island where Guns and Gadget lives? No, I believe he lives really close to it, but he doesn't live in it. Plantation estate with crops such as coffee, sugar, and tobacco. Thank you for the Wikipedia there. Dash says Rhode Island was founded by Roger Williams. He was not racist. He negotiated with natives for land. HTP, yeah, that will work. I'm related indirectly to Roger. All right, cool. I live in Rhode Island. Who cares what's going on the ballot? Who cares that is going on to the ballot? Rhode Island and Providence Plantations, the state formerly known as Rhode Island. Yeah, I don't know. Rhode Island was a historically agrarian economy. It's also sided with the Union in the American Civil War and was the first colony to pass an abolition law in 1652, or 131 years before even becoming a state. Evolution. Yeah. The recent push for the name change started when an online petition began circulating after the death of you-know-who, a criminal suspect who died while in custody of Minneapolis police. In no way am I trying to erase history. There's the line of the night right there. In no way is she trying to erase history, but we shouldn't glorify our shameful past. Tyson, whatever his name, a half-black student at the University of Rhode Island, told the Associated Press. Yeah, so he's the one that organized the petition. Wow. So they are trying to erase history, and they have to, right? You can't have a president coming out and saying, I'm going to make America great again, right? Because they want a the rioters want a socialism government, right? The people in control, not so much, but they want to use the people who want socialism for their own purpose, right? But in order to do that, in order to change the whole system over to a different type, get rid of capitalism and all that, you have to erase our history or make us so upset with our history that we don't even want anything to do with it, right? We need to get rid of all that shit and just start over as a more fair country, a country that's fair to everybody, no matter what your race or gender or fluid non-binary decision is, right? A society fair for everybody. That's like the perfect socialism thing, right? You have to make it a point that America was never great. And that's why they're tearing down Washington. That's why they're tearing down Abraham Lincoln statues. Right? They have to tear them all down because all of them were bad, because this country was founded on slavery. Therefore, every man was bad. Every president was bad. Even the one that freed the slaves. He was bad too. Even Barney Fife. They tore down, or are trying to tear, or we're going to try to tear down, I don't know if they actually tore it down, a statue of Don Knotts because he played a cop on TV. They're trying to cancel Paw Patrol, which is a cartoon for kids that has dogs dressed up as different service members, including the police. So they want the police dog to be canceled. They are trying to eradicate our history by making everything in our history bad. Is America perfect? No. Was it great? It had its moments, right? Especially long ago. But of course, there's no perfect country. There never will be. And if we did start this whole thing over again, there's no way in hell it would be any better than it is now, except for certain people who are in the know. Okay, so Broken Patriot. Okay, I read that. As somebody that lives in Rhode Island, nice place to visit. Don't live here. Yeah, I would like to visit, I think, someday. But that's the problem. If I come to visit, I'm coming fully loaded because I don't go anywhere that I'm not fully loaded. So I'd probably get in trouble. Probably get in trouble. Jay Sparks. Hey, Jay Sparks, how you doing this evening? Most of the people have no clue what the true history is. Yeah, I probably don't even really. I mean, history is written by the victors, right? So everybody's written in a better light, for sure. The handicapper general agents enforce the equality laws, forcing citizens to wear handicaps, makes masks for those too beautiful.
I don't know what it did to my comments, but basically I had read this short story, and it's called Harrison Bergeron, and maybe they don't like it that I posted this, but it's basically, it's the year 2081, and the U.S. Constitution's been amended to the point where nobody can be more attractive or less attractive than anyone else, or stronger or weaker. Everybody has to be fully equal, so they have the handicapper general who goes around and makes the beautiful people wear masks and makes the strong people wear weights to bring them down, and I just kind of feel like we're headed that way.
I don't think we'll go that far, though. I think that's a fun little theory in a book that you might read, but it won't be like that. 1984 is a lot more realistic than that would ever have been. And that, I thought, was far-fetched. I mean, we all did, right?
Mm-hmm.
Broken Patriot. Venezuela went down the path of erasing history, and look where... Yeah, exactly. Socialism. And that was the country they were all pointing to as a shining example on how socialism works, right? Because right up until it crashed, it was great. Oh, that's the perfect... That's the what we need to strive for here in America. We need to be more like Venezuela. Now that they have hyperinflation and bread costs like $3 trillion... now they're kind of silent, right? But don't think hyperinflation ain't coming to America real freaking soon. So let's look at the big picture. China, Venezuela, North Korea, and Iran trying to influence our elections. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. That's another topic for another day, sir. We should definitely talk about that. Bring some articles, and I'll give you a wrench, and then you can post them here, and maybe I'll read them, and we can go down the whole what the influencing our elections is trying to do. Because personally, I don't know if it really matters who wins and loses, right? I'm not going to vote for Biden, so you can all calm down on that. But I don't think voting for Trump or any Republican is going to help anything. If it does anything at all, it slows it down just a little bit. Because guess what? The boomers who control the votes, okay, because the boomers from, the greatest generation of all time outnumbered everybody else in the voting booths, right? So they were the ones who determined who was going to be the president for a very long time. They're dying out. Now we have a whole new group who was never punished by their parents, not once. They were always a special child, always won a trophy, no score was ever kept, right? Then they went to a college where they were indoctrinated for at least 4 years and told that the American society that they grew up in their whole life was evil and corrupt and racist. And the only way to fight that was to go out in the streets and punch a Nazi in the face, right? That's the new voting people right now. So I don't think if Trump gets reelected, and he might not, but after this next election, I don't see us getting a conservative ever in the White House, okay? Because you have the boomers who actually control the vote dying off, and now all you have is socialism voting coming in, and dreamers and whatever else, right? We are going to a socialist country. And that's how I'm going to close out this chat. The way I began it on how do you get this country back. If you want to get this country back, you better do it now. You better do it now, because the voting it back is not going to happen. If anything, it's only going to make it worse, because the new voting pool that's coming around is not what you think. I mean, it's bad. It's real bad. Are American immigrant influence our election? Most immigrants vote liberal. Not ones that come here legally. I don't think so. I could be wrong. We have no voting box no more than we have a PAL put box or a soap box. Only one that remains, cartridge box. Yeah. Here's the thing, though, and I brought this up at the beginning. One person on a cartridge box, you're just a crazy. You're just another Timothy McVeigh. You're just another white racist, right? What do you have to do in order to make an actual difference with your cartridge box? You have to have others on their cartridge box as well, all at the same time. Without government infiltrators, without a Waco or a Ruby Ridge type event, or even a, the guy in Nevada, the other BLM, right? So, yeah, I don't see us getting it back unless we do something all at once right away, maybe. But you see, every time you go outside and you see somebody wearing a mask, they're a sheep. They're an absolute sheep. They are going to do what they are told. They are not going to stand up. They are not going to stand up with you. They will be the first one to turn your ass in. They all will become Karens if they get threatened, right? So anytime you go out there and you see a mask on somebody, you just know that's a scared individual. They will not stand with you. Anyway, guys, that's all I got for you. Check the links down below. There is Rally Point Irish. That's a nonprofit that I'm supporting, and I encourage you to support as well. My friend Irish USMC Vet is trying to make a place where veterans can come and live and learn how to farm and learn self-sufficiency and probably help with PSD and the whole bit. So if you have some money to donate to a good cause, that's a good cause that I believe is one. I donate to it, so there you go. ProjectRecover.org is an organization who's going out and like doing deep dives to old wrecks from like World War II and other wars, recovering remains of lost soldiers and returning them home. I've donated to that one as well, and I believe in that one as well. The link for the song that plays at the beginning of this is down there as well. Adam Lawson. If you like that song, that's where you can watch it. Subscribe to him. He's a really good dude. He does not know that I'm using this song, which is probably bad on my part. I should have told him. But I might change that up. Other than that, tune in again tomorrow. We are always on during Monday through Friday at 10 o'clock Mountain Standard Time, which was about 53 minutes ago. Leave a thumbs up if you enjoyed the video. Leave a thumbs down if you disliked the video. If you're not already subscribed, you can consider doing that as well if you'd like. And if you really want to know when I'm on live or doing a video, consider hitting that bell notification. I'm also thinking about starting to do some silver videos. I just went out and got a little bit of silver and gold today, and I don't know. We'll see if you guys are into that. That would probably be an actual video though, not a chat. And if it works out, then I might continue it. Anyway, guys, thank you very much for joining. Everybody, I appreciate you very much. Make sure to watch out for that government. Keep your family close and try to live as free as you can in this screwed up world. Peace.